welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessica Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. And it's hashtag Wealth Wednesday in the house today.
Right, hashtag Wealth Wednesday. We're going to talk about and debate with some of the guests about, does being wealthy or being rich equate to being happy?
Got
The
some thoughts about that
happiness
one.
coach over here
got
has
some thoughts
some
about
input on
that
that, right?
My first reaction is yes, abso-freaking-lutely, but I'd love to hear what our panel of experts has to say. I'm so excited to welcome our special guest this morning. Hello, back studio. We have M. Huggett. She's a recording artist. Brandon Hong. He is a transformational expert, executive coach. Gretchen Rossi is in the house. Gretchen Christine Rossi, for that matter. And the Build Your Empire boys.
Yes.
Look at that. Casey, Kieran, and Jeffrey T. Good morning, everybody. We're so excited you're here today with us. So here at Good Morning La La Land, we like to know what your morning routine is. What's the secret to really starting your day? Gretchen, I'd love to start with you.
Oh dear. Well, first and foremost for me, I wake up and do meditation, and then I do my devotion. That's how I start every single day. My first appointment of the day is with my Lord and Savior.
Amen, sister. I love that. And then she slays life with those handbags. I mean, I'm so excited to come back there and take a look at that. Loving your new accessory line. What about you? How do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Yeah, similar to Gretchen, I like to journal first to just clear my head, get everything out so I can start the day with a fresh mind. And then I meditate, followed by yoga normally. And then affirmations, positive affirmations, I think. Yeah.
I'm an affirmationer.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Brandon, you're the expert here. How are they doing with their mornings?
Man, I think they're doing great. They've kind of taken all the answers.
Yeah. We're already on track.
I'm a polar plunger.
What is that?
Oh yeah, cold water, get
Wow.
the body going.
Yeah. Like Tony
Oh,
Robbins.
really?
Yeah, I like it.
Lots of breathing.
Yeah.
I meditate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
After you freeze.
Do I look like I meditate? Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Well, you do it very gracefully. Gentlemen, what about you? Casey, I'm so excited that you're here. You know, Casey is one of the top 12 most inspirational, motivational men on Instagram.
What?
And
That's amazing.
How old are you, Casey?
I'm 18 right now. Just turned 18 in July.
Wow.
Goals.
Yes.
He's got one of the top business podcasts on iTunes. I mean, geez, how do you start your day?
Yeah, so I usually like to start up. I mean, number one, first thing I do is always smile, because I think smiling just releases dopamine that just starts your day off good. And I read this book one time where it's like within the first 8 seconds of your day, that's what really dictates your mood. So I usually smile. I usually get a good 15, 20 minutes of reading in, and then I try to attack the first task of the day after I meditate and do all the things that you guys spoke on as well. So that's usually my routine right when I get up.
Man, if I had it that together.
Wow.
And Kieran, what about you?
Yeah, for me, it's, I travel so much, so it's hard to keep a really solid daily routine, when you're always in different hotels and whatnot. But for me, I try not to touch my phone for the first 45 minutes to an hour of the day. That's a big one for me. And when I can, I always try to work out in the morning versus doing it in the evening. That's always better for me. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm a similar way. I love focusing on positivity, giving a smile, and just appreciating all things that I'm thankful for. And then staying off your phone is huge. So many people get stuck in the trap of just immediately picking up their phone and just eyes locked for the first hours they wake up, because that's what wakes them up. I'm like, no, you gotta
Totally.
stay off that for a while. So I'm a similar way, but I'm glad we all share a similar positive mindset.
For men who have mastered the social platforms, I mean, you have such a killing following on YouTube. Like 800,000 subscribers, something like that. I mean, incredible. And it's so refreshing to hear that that's not actually your entire life. Right? That's not how you start your day.
So true.
So well balanced. I'm excited to learn more about your secrets later in the show.
So true. So actually, this morning, it was not right when I woke up. I actually did stay off my phone for the first hour and a half. But I saw a tweet from Facebook that they're going to actually start implementing tools into Facebook so that you can moderate your own time when you're on Facebook. So I don't know if that means that you can like block yourself from being on at certain times, or time limit, or what that looks like. I don't know, but I would imagine that's not something they created. I would imagine it's something coming out of all the chaos that's been going on.
Absolutely, yeah. They've developed apps actually that will shut down your access to certain apps during certain hours of the day.
Wow, that's profound. I do love the intention towards like consciousness and conscious business. Fantastic. So go Facebook.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a whole, we're being like, I mean, everything is being switched and changed. And I mean, imagine what it was like even 10 years ago. I mean, when I was 18, I don't think that anybody at 18 was like, yeah, I wake up in the morning and I meditate. It's amazing.
No, that wasn't part of it. No, but also we didn't have the social media, and we didn't have like the obsession.
Totally.
To, I mean, we had video games, but even then they were kind of whack. Like I did Atari for only so long, and your fingers were like worn out. So
I did Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, yeah, Pac-Man, track and field,
funny.
Nintendo. Yeah, it was like, and there were people that were like completely obsessed with video games, but not like now. Like now, everyone's sort of obsessed with social media.
They're gamers, man. It's their whole life.
Well,
right?
Speaking of life, we have a very special guest in the house. Emmy Award winning Lily Melgar is here, and we have a special look at her My Life.
Now, actress, director, producer, and this is my life. I was born and raised in LA. I was born in General Hospital, only to grow up and be on General Hospital. Ricky Martin and I got to be the first Latin leading couple in the history of soaps. You may know me from my work as Janice Ramos on The Bay. I just had my 3rd Emmy nomination. I've won 2 Emmys producing on The Bay. As my career grew, my desire to be behind the camera also grew. My first directorial debut was the opening video for the Spice Girls reunion tour. All I can say is dreams do come true. You gotta believe in yourself, you gotta go for it, and don't ever give up. This is my life.
I have you with us and joining all of our guests this morning.
Thank you, love. Good to see you guys again.
Good to see you too. So, we were starting the show. We like to know what people's morning routines are and how they start their day. Is there anything special you can share with us?
Yeah, I personally love to get up and get on my power plate, and I do my affirmational work. So
on the
that
power plate.
On the power plate.
Oh, yeah. In there. So that sets the tone for my day and my mood, my mindset, really, because I'm kind of pumping myself up. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel like energetically there's something to the vibrational plate. You know,
100%.
It's got the circulation going and it's activating all your cells. So I don't know, I have no science to back it up, but I think my affirmational work works better when I do that.
I'd like to validate you in that, Lily. I think that's a genius idea. I'm going to incorporate my affirmations on the power plate.
For sure.
Yes, thank you.
We're looking forward to all the interviews with you guys in a moment. But the power plate, for anyone who doesn't remember what a power plate is, doesn't know what it is, it's literally this thing that like vibrates like voraciously in the gym, and you can go do like squats on it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Jess and I had a great time. Like we were laughing hysterically working out on it.
Isn't that kind of like just working out in LA? It's like there are always earthquake possibilities. I feel like that's always a possibility. Like LA is a big power plate.
Life on the power plate. Well, we're so excited to be having this #Wealth Wednesday conversation here on Good Morning LaLaLand today. And Erin's got a very interesting question of the day. Let's talk about it.
So the question of the day really is, does wealth or being rich equate to happiness? And obviously, being a positive psychologist, happiness coach, I'm dying to know what you say. But it's interesting because they say 300 million people suffer from depression. So that means depression. Depression is like extreme, like where you can't get out of bed for weeks at a time, right? So how many of us deal with being sad or whatever? Of course, probably majority of us, but 300 million people across the globe. So what's interesting is there was a study on the different countries, wealthy countries versus not so wealthy countries. So China, being one of the poorest, had only 6.5% of the population has dealt with depression, whereas United States is 19.2.
Isn't that interesting?
Holy cow.
Well, I think there's so much expectation that surrounds wealth. And being a capitalist country, some of our goals as Americans is to reach a certain level of wealth, right? And we're expecting that when we reach or attain that level, we will be happy. That's how I grew up. I thought, when I have this much money, I will be happy. I will be happy when. And it was really shocking to me when I realized, if I have that money, that doesn't make me happy. I had to flip that around to really then embrace abundance.
It's so true. It's so true. I love Jim Carrey says, I want everybody to get rich and famous so they can finally discover that's not the answer. And it's so true. Lots of studies have basically said, look, you can improve your quality of life and your subjective well-being by improving your income or wealth level. And so up to about $70,000, you know, each dollar makes has a tremendous impact on your happiness. After $70,000, you experience what's called the diminishing marginal utility of the dollar, which means that every dollar is worth less and less in terms of happiness. So the basic point, the take-home point, is that, you know, if you're living at a level below subsistence, where you can't pay your bills, where you're not able to really eat, you don't have shelter, money is going to make an incredible difference in your life.
For sure, absolutely, and I agree. And from a spiritual perspective, look, the reality is that happiness is an energetic thing, that it actually is in our DNA, and there's lineages that literally deal with more trauma and deal with more depression than others. And so we go, well, what do we do about it, right? Because we know it's not going to be solved by just having more material belongings. I think that the culture agrees with that in general, right? But now what do we do about it, right? So doing your internal work, doing your spiritual work, doing your trauma work, doing all these things, you literally help heal, you know, they say 7 generations back and 7 generations forward when you do your own internal work. So true wealth is really a spiritual, you know, it's wholeness, really is wholeness.
And once you embrace that and embrace that transformation, you can accept the law of abundance. We had a great episode of Good Morning La La Land yesterday focusing on transformation. Let's take a look at the rewind.
Well, it's interesting because I definitely have to mirror that back to you, Jeslyn. You're so great with people. Have you not noticed?
This is
Have you noticed that?
My favorite quote, be careful about the way you talk about yourself because you are listening, and I think that's a really big one for me.
No, I was basically a hairdresser back in the day. I was always about
the great hair.
Yeah.
The only thing that's freely given and never accepted is unsolicited advice. But even when people pay me for advice, they often don't want it.
But it's a lot of word of mouth, you know what I mean?
Or look for that hair on Robertson Boulevard.
I really needed to reset, and that's why I call it the reset plan, is because you can't change what's happened to you in life. You can't change who you are. I'm never going to be 110 pounds. I'm an Italian meatball, you know what I mean? And that's my dad's name for me growing up, and I'm proud of it.
Hashtag hair goals, right?
Right? Love Craig's hair. Yeah.
Across the
suit.
board.
For sure.
And Shauna, our favorite Italian meatball. They've really mastered transformation in their lives, and I'm excited to talk to Brandon Hawk, who is, you know, a transformational expert, and really just how we can transform our life to really embrace our true wealth and our well-being, right?
I love that. So let's stay tuned. We're going to come back and have a bunch of interviews about what is true wealth, and let's go there. Stay tuned. I can talk too.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs. Hey guys, I'm Amy Backraft.
And I'm Justin Walter. We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Bob Mack.
And I'm Des Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. We have Lily Melger in the house. Look at you, gorgeous dress. It
Well,
was your
thank
birthday.
you.
You're Emmy awarding producer.
Yes.
You've been on so many incredible shows. We're so fortunate to have you here
Thank
today.
you guys. I love seeing you guys again. You were so much fun on the red carpet at the Emmys. I was just watching you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you're amazing. You're such a light, from the red carpet to, you know, your days on General Hospital, and now you have so many incredible projects in the works. I
Yes.
mean, let's talk about that.
Okay, well, let's see. What should I begin with? I guess Nona. It was a very interesting thing that happened. We were talking about Leos attracting things, right? I was directing Ricky Martin for his All In Vegas residency. And that alone was amazing because it was a full circle moment, only this time I was directing him,
That's
you know?
insane.
It's insane.
What
It's
is
so
it like
beautiful.
to direct?
Oh my God, I love it. I love being in control of my vision. As an actor, we're always kind of in somebody else's hands. So it's a beautiful thing to get to bring your vision forth. And
Especially with Ricky Martin.
and to do it with somebody that I love so much that trusts me completely. We had so much fun, and I'm very proud of the results. And so when I was doing that, we were shooting at Burbank Studios. I get a call to do a very interesting role. I played the madam in Nona, which is about human trafficking. So the subject matter, I'm totally behind bringing awareness, and you know, we have to bring an end to that in our lifetime. So Kate Bosworth and her husband, Michael Polish, who directed and wrote it, are definitely leading the way in that, and they created this film, and I got to play the madam. And literally it was 2 days after being on 12-hour days on directing for the Ricky Martin All In Vegas residency, and then showing up the next morning, okay, I'm a madam today. So that has been doing the festival circuits, and they've been winning awards left and right, so it's doing really well. So it should be premiering soon for you guys to watch. And this August 7th, next week, a film also in called To the Beat. It's a teen dance comedy, premieres on Netflix.
Oh my God.
I'm really excited. Yes, happy birthday to me.
I dare say you are one of the hardest working women in Hollywood. We have a look at some of your
So
latest projects.
sweet.
Let's take a peek.
Maggie's having sex.
Right now?
I found birth control searches on her laptop.
Are you snooping?
I'm cleaning her room.
Why is everything about sex? It's not about sex. She's an intelligent girl who has a vagina.
We have so much to talk about at brunch, which reminds me, where's the birthday girl?
She's sleeping. She's sleeping. I guess you need more sleep at 40 than at 39.
I want clean faces in this house. You've come in here and turned my girls into hookers? Hookers are on the street! You ain't!
I love it.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, because it's Wealth Wednesday, and we're kind of debating, you know, does wealthy or being rich equate to happiness? And you've been around so many different people and you know, different financial realms and societies and whatever. What's your take on it?
If money makes you happy? Or what? Is that the question?
Yeah.
I think we're all going to struggle in life because it's part of the human experience. And I think it's going to be a little easier with money, honestly. Does that equate happiness? No. I think that's a very personal thing for everybody. For me, what makes me happy, aside from the obvious family, is creative playgrounds. That's when I feel fulfilled. And it wasn't the paycheck at the end of the day. It was that I got to do what I love, that I got to create with like-minded people, that we got to inspire and egg each other on and grow together. That stuff turns me on. That fulfills me.
And what have you learned about yourself in doing that and being a part of that creative soul playground?
That I needed to be a positive playground. That's what I've learned. And now that I'm older, and even with this birthday, that was something that I really had to sit in.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
It's yesterday, correct?
It was Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah. Making those choices based more on the experience than the success that may come with it.
So interesting. So much of the research really says that if you're going to spend money, you're best spending it on experiences as opposed to...
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And so it's the experience of life that, and it sounds like a trope, but it's more than that. It's the journey and the experience itself. What is it for you that makes an experience positive?
You know, I believe in this wholeheartedly because I produce a lot as well. And really quickly, Dangerous Curves, I didn't mention it, but that's a really fun series about 4 Latinas that are trying to make their dreams come true as they're dealing with men, biological clocks, and cultural baggage. So you got to see that. That's a really fun one that I'm really proud of and excited that we are going into production soon on that one. Back to the question, which was?
Like, you said that you really have learned that it's important to have like positive experiences.
What does that make the positive experience for me? As a producer, I believe that you set the tone for the space, the creative space of that day. So intention is everything, and that's why working with quality people, that their intention is in alignment with mine. Let's say I just shot a short film last week. My intention was I want everybody that's here creating to have the most amazing foodie experience. I want the crafts to be like the fun table. I want them to be, oh my God, I've never had this at the crafts table. Sure enough, that was the feedback that I got. Why does that make me happy? I don't know, but I want to work with people that care that much about everybody else's experience and not just what they're getting out of it.
Well, you have such a generous spirit, and that comes across in every performance I've ever seen you give, and just sitting here and having this conversation with you and just being able to give and share your light, that translates so clearly.
You are so sweet, and that means so much to me. You have no idea.
Well, it means so much to us to have you here and to celebrate you. What do you see going forward in your life? I mean, obviously you have all these exciting projects and Dangerous Curves, and you know, you're celebrating women and cultural differences, but what do you really want to be known for?
What do I want to be known for? That's a great question. I don't know if I've defined that other than in the creative world, I want to be known for, if you got to work with me, it was a positive experience and you walk away with great memories and feeling good about yourself.
And the best craft services ever.
Yeah, that's what is important. That makes people happy.
It's got to be room on the set for me. I can be a PA, I can do something that just sounds like a perfect place to work. My gosh.
Sign me up.
I completely agree with everything. So especially just the creative factor, that I may be one of those women that I'm not necessarily always happy. I have my highs and lows, but if I'm creative, then it's always like I'm always fulfilled, regardless if there's highs or lows.
Exactly. You know, I'm not going to sit here and claim like I'm always this happy. You know, yes, I love to laugh, and yes, I do have a natural ability to focus on what's right more than what's wrong. But we're women. We go through our emotional ups and downs, and you know, usually get me on a set doing what I love kind of gets me in a really good space if I'm in control.
You are a Leo after all.
Right? Yes.
Yes.
Because it is, you know, and I've been fortunate to have, especially now at this moment, the producing teams that I have and the crews that I have in place. We all have that where it is important to us that people walk away from their set experience on our projects feeling good. That I didn't do my job if you leave feeling bad in any way.
Right. Speaking of feeling good, you also smell good.
Thank you.
and you mentioned that that's your own.
Yes,
your own fragrance.
It's my signature scent. I also have a line. It's called Scent by Lily, and it's coconut oil-based candles and fragrance roll-ons. So this is my signature scent by Lily Day, and it's a white tea ginger gardenia scent.
I love
that.
I'll take
love.
two. So tell people where they can find you and where they can get your scents.
So you can get my scents on lilymelgar.com, and you could find me at Lily Melgar Official on Instagram, Lily Melgar on Twitter, Lily Melgar on Facebook, Melgar Lily on Snapchat. Although I can't do it all, you guys, I went to Instagram, and that's kind of my hangout.
If that's enough, because you're going to be on Netflix next week.
I'm so excited. So my daughter, she's like seen me do so many things, and I also have a vampire series that's coming out that I'm producing as well, and starting it called Blood Roses. And when she saw me do that, she's like, "Mommy, you do so many different types of roles. You're really good at this acting thing." Right? So I was like, "Oh my God, greatest compliment ever." So last week she's like, "You're gonna be on Netflix?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been on Amazon for a while now, by the way." Yeah, you're gonna be on Netflix? I'm like, okay, so that was the way to my daughter's 13-year-old heart.
Well, check her out on Netflix this next week, and stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone, and this is Jasmine Moye, and we're at Focus TV Network, and we are reporting to you what happened this week in Focus. Last week on the hashtag Harry and Kelly show, we had
Ryan Kendrick.
Yes. On the LA Home show, we featured
a very special guest with her own furniture company, Ms. Farrah Abraham.
On Purpose with Brittany Zonker, we had
Acro Yoga with Andrew Seeley, Cupping with Dr. Lee, and also Eric Bigger.
Speaking of Andrew Seeley, he was on Good Morning La La Land.
He did, and I tried Acro Yoga here on set for the very first time.
I think we had some footage of that.
Oh God.
Speaking of Good Morning La La Land, we had a week full of guests who was on that show.
We had a ton of special guests. I'm so excited to announce we had Farrah Abraham on the show. She brought her daughter, Sophia.
So cute.
We also featured JJ Jurgens, the creator of Tom Girl TV, as well as James Arthur Ray. We also had a great demonstration by Andrew Hernandez, who is a special instructor for Strong by Zumba. And then I also had the incredible honor to go on location to the Gibson showroom for the final broadcast from their stage.
Speaking of the Gibson event, you were at a lot of events last week.
I was. We were also celebrating Concern Foundation's 44th annual block party at the Paramount Backlot. And if you can't tell, we have a lot of fun here. Let's take a look.
COO and founder of Building Construction Group, Scott Harris.
Sorry, it's co-founder.
Oh, fuck me, Natalie. And co-founder of the Building Group, Scott Harris.
Thank you, Building Construction Group.
Oh shit, let's do it again.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
God.
I'll stop.
Why are you making it so complicated? She hasn't gone in and out and in her shirt again.
This is so hard. What else do I need to do?
Andy Cruz to the monitor. We don't know. I don't know what my hair looks like. I have to. It's not fair.
The heavyweight, the UFC middleweight. I totally fucked that up. Hang on a second.
I wish my boobs looked like yours. Where are they?
On last week's episode of hashtag Harry and Kelly, we had.
Ryan Kendrick. Yeah. I almost called him Kendrick Lamar.
Why are we not taking like outtakes?
Yeah, why aren't we taking
so
this?
funny.
Thank you all so much for the laughs and being community powered. That was This Week in Focus. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land on hashtag Wealth Wednesday. We are building an empire.
Oh, yes,
We are, right? We've got Casey Kieran and Jeffrey T in the house. You guys have created empires quite literally on social media.
Building an empire, and it's been a good 2-3 years. We are young. I'm 18. He's turning 19 tomorrow, and he's 19 as well. So I would say we've had our good 2, 3, 4 years. He's had over 5 to 10 years. You always see people on social media or see people that are maybe whether doing better than you. And it's like, I think it's always about just knowing yourself and following your passions and kind of don't caring what other people think about you, but having the core intent of being authentic and just helping out others and really understanding what your why is at the end of the day.
Ooh, key. I love that. So just want to make sure, it's Kieran also, right?
Yes.
Is that how you're pronouncing it? So how do you guys work together, and how did this relationship
Yeah,
all come together?
so we're big car enthusiasts. We're huge into cars, and right around the time that one of his videos went really viral on YouTube, we actually met at a car show and we became friends and eventually business partners. We've done a whole bunch of stuff together. I couldn't even list the amount of things that we've done business-wise together. And then Casey, we've been friends with him for a long time as well. And the three of us, we've always dabbled in things, but this Build Your Empire thing, this media company that we're all kind of involved in now, is like the next big thing that we're all doing together.
Yeah.
So
it'd be fun. We're kind of keep it simple. Is pretty much I have 2 other business partners, and we acquired this brand, Build Your Empire, about 4 months ago. It's pretty much a media company that focuses on showcasing high-class entrepreneurs. We have 1.4 million followers on Instagram, and we're actually kind of transitioning, and we're creating this thing called the Build Your Empire House, and we're going to be based in Paradise Valley, Arizona, and it's going to be, we're all going to live there. We're going to have a full-time content creator, and it's going to be a entrepreneur house where we kind of do different monthly events, really, I would say, specializing in build your real estate empire, teach about it.
Thinking, I think it's going to happen more and more. I think that the like-minded communities are going to come together like that, and even the living experiences. I think that the laptop lifestyle, and I think we're going to see so many incredible things. You guys are like the pioneers of all this stuff.
Entrepreneurship is the new cool thing.
Okay, so for somebody watching out there, how would you define entrepreneurship?
Well, I think it's doing something you're passionate about and just going out there, not really worrying about the money to start. I think that's important. When starting a business, people always look at like, what's going to make me the most money? Or they go to college to study what's going to make them the most money, but just do something you're passionate about. And with me, I started my first investment business back in 10 years ago. Yeah. We were super passionate about collecting old memorabilia and collectibles. So we started collecting these things, and then we evolved it into a business when we started to flip some of these things that we purchased, sold them for a profit, built a clientele. Now 10 years later, it's rocking and rolling.
And how old were you when you started this business?
9 years old, 2008.
Nice.
And then in the first full year in 2009, we raked in $30,000. So 9 years old.
Wow. It sounds like you have a good reality show in the making for the house. Right?
I mean, they've captured it all so successfully across platforms, including YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, tell us about how that's contributed to your success.
Yeah, so the whole idea of YouTube, I was actually like 14 or 15. We were eating some pizza as a family, and I asked my dad just these exact words. I'm like, what's the point of living if you're not going to be remembered? And you're just going to blend in with those 7 billion people on Earth. And that kind of like set me back a little bit.
Dude.
That's what motivates me the most, is the fact that I'm terrified of just blending in and being forgotten. So that's, at that point, I took a step back. I'm like, great, I make more money, that's cool and all, but how am I going to have that lasting legacy? So that's when we launched the YouTube channel to share our passion with everyone and motivate other young entrepreneurs, because that's what it's all about. Showing people that no matter what position you're in, you can level up and get to where you want to go and achieve your goals. So that's what we did, started the YouTube channel. It took a while to get going, but after about 6 months, we had some videos go viral. We got into 100,000 subscribers within one week of that video going viral.
Tell them the title of one of the first videos.
Yeah, the viral video that blew it up was me driving one of my cool cars to high school. Because I walk every day, no one knew I had the cars. So when I showed up in this Dodge Viper, they freaked out. It was a money video. So it went viral, and then we had 100,000 subscribers within a week, and now we're closing in on 1 million a couple years later. So it's an amazing 2 years.
The Viper's pretty cool car.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So what do you say, because there's a lot of pressure out there. I mean, in some ways, probably people look to you guys and they're like, oh my gosh, they did it, and we want to do it. And then at the same time, it makes them feel bad about themselves because they're like trying to measure themselves. Yeah. What would you say? How do you guys manage like not getting caught up in that BS?
I mean, I think for me, me coming from a small town in Virginia, we're all from Virginia, and we kind of all, like I said, we met on social media, but I would say the biggest thing for me has always just been perspective. And my parents, they're not entrepreneurial, they've worked in their jobs for the last 20 years, corporate jobs, and for me it's like seeing my 2 brothers sort of try college, not really like it. I just really look at it from a perspective base, and I'm like, I want to do something different, like Jeff said, that can kind of help you stand out from the crowd, that you can kind of define your own passions and successes and kind of do your own thing. And I think when it comes to the social media sort of persona of like, oh, that person's doing this, I want to do that, I think that's really all about just your mindset moving forward and understanding that whatever it is on social media, just focus on you. You know, it's like there's so much stuff that's, like you said, scrolling, where you could literally just get caught in a trap of like saying, oh, he's better than me, she's better than me. And I think if you're looking at social media like that, you should definitely take a step back and kind of rethink your process moving forward, because when I'm on social media, I'm looking at people like, who can I connect with? Who can I really get into my network to then collaborate with? So I think it's just really understanding who you are, and then knowing that everyone has a story. And I've learned that from, now I have a podcast and I've sat down with over, like I would say 50 different successful entrepreneurs, and I think it's just understanding that everyone was once the day one, and everyone has a story.
All start somewhere.
That's such an important point, and I think it brings back to Lily's conversation, is setting your intention. And so maybe that is the thing, to set your intention before you ever even open that social media app. I love that. So you look through, you see who to connect with, and what do you do?
Oh yeah, so for me, I'm kind of well known. They call me the king of DM slides. So that's that's what they call me. So for me, I started a podcast late December last year. I had an interview with Gary Vee. I don't know if you're familiar with him. So,
who doesn't know Gary Vee?
So I had an interview with him, and I was always watching his stuff. He's like, oh yeah, you should start a podcast.
How did you get an interview with Gary Vee?
Dude, Erin, he is one of the top notable Instagrammers, influencers, top motivational.
So you had that person, then you were like, okay, now I'm going to do the podcast. So he's like, okay.
Yeah, so I would say, and because I have like 210,000 on Instagram, I don't have millions of followers yet, besides my media company now, but when it comes to the DMs, so with Gary Vee, I had a meeting set up with him in October, and how that happened was he ended up sending me a pair of his Gary Vee 001 sneakers, which were coming out in October, and his team just reached out to me. They got them. I posted them on my story, and then he's like, looks good, man. And then I was like, hey Gary, like you've literally transformed my mindset over the last 6 to 12 months following you. I'd love to sit down with you for 5 minutes. And I think that's really knowing when you can ask something of someone on Instagram, but then also being really distinctive, saying, get straight to the point, don't waste my time. If I said, hey Gary, like he wouldn't really respond to me, but ended up getting an interview with him in February, go to New York City. He shouts me out, we do this podcast interview, and then from there, I literally did like 50 interviews back to back within the last 4 months. Anyone from Drama from Young and Reckless to we're talking about David Meltzer, who's partnered with Warren Moon, Hall of Fame NFL player. So just a lot of people in different industries, a lot of people in our niche of entrepreneurship, Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, all these big names in our space. And it's literally just been from the DMs, like no special hack, nothing, but having a strategy that kind of goes hand in hand with it is like knowing what to say, how to say it, and don't waste their time at the end of the day.
What's been the greatest hurdle in ramping up your business?
Yeah, so I would say for me, and kind of that's sort of my core personal brand is the podcast, obviously, but from the back end, having a social media marketing agency and helping other people sort of build their personal brands, that's sort of like what I specialize in, what I speak at events on. And then more recently, I have two business partners, John Malott and Joshua Denny, and we acquired Build Your Empire, and that's sort of been a transition of kind of building out the back-end media company of saying, all right, we have this platform of 1.4 million followers, and people like DJ Khaled follow us, all these big A-list celebrities, and how can we leverage this to then help other people build their brands and get their story out there? So now it's really just on the back end of building the business is working with a good clientele list of really posting them on our Instagram, and then now we have our Build Your Empire magazine about to release, and then now the house, which is a main focus of ours, and that's sort of like the incubator / headquarters, but then also we live there, so that's sort of the big transition
for you. So I believe truly that the solo entrepreneur is pretty much history, that you have to collaborate in, so how would you recommend for people to find and reach out and find kind of their teammates, their collabs?
Totally, so I would say it's definitely with collaboration, like you just said, it's like, why compete when you can collaborate? That's what I live by, right? So I would say with collaboration, like you're gonna meet, and this is something I've learned over the last taking that online relationship offline. I think that's like the core of my existence on social media is like, yes, you can DM someone or get in touch with them, but like, how can I take that and get on an hour-and-a-half podcast? Because you don't really know someone unless you have a conversation with them, right? So that's sort of my philosophy of building relationships on social media.
Of a podcast or a show is that you get to have those relationships.
And
totally. And everyone wants to help in entrepreneurship, and that's what's so amazing. The community is always pushing people to level up, and I always say whatever your desired level of success is, because everyone always asks, what is success? Well, it's different for everybody. Whether that's to be the president, make this much money, lose that much weight, it's all about finding your desired level of success and getting
Although I have to call you guys out on one thing, because I checked out your thing, it's all men, all guys on the, you guys got to get some women in there, got to get some women in there. Okay, cool.
I do really respect the fact though that you are representing a next generation of man.
Absolutely.
And congratulations and hats off to you because you've done it very, very well. It's very motivational. So thank you for being here today. It's an honor to have this conversation.
So awesome.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Good morning, La La Land. Awesome, you guys.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone and this is Jasmine Moyer and we're at Focus TV Network and we are reporting to you what happened this week in Focus. Last week on the hashtag Harry and Kelly show, we had
Ryan Kendrick.
Yes. On the LA Home show, we featured
a very special guest with her own furniture company, Ms. Farrah Abraham.
On Purpose with Brittany Zonker, we had
Acro Yoga with Andrew Seeley, Cupping with Dr. Lee, and also Eric Bigger.
Speaking of Andrew Seeley, he was on Good Morning La La Land.
He did, and I tried Acro Yoga here on set for the very first time.
I think we have some footage of that.
Oh God.
Speaking of Good Morning La La Land, we had a week full of guests who was on that show.
We had a ton of special guests. I'm so excited to announce we had Farrah Abraham on the show. She brought her daughter, Sophia.
So cute.
Also featured JJ Jurgens, the creator of Tom Girl TV, as well as James Arthur Ray. We also had a great demonstration by Andrew Hernandez, who is a special instructor for Strong by Zumba. And then I also had the incredible honor to go on location to the Gibson showroom for the final broadcast from their stage.
Speaking of the Gibson event, you were at a lot of events last week.
I was. We were also celebrating Concern Foundation's 44th annual block party at the Paramount Backlot. And if you can't tell, we have a lot of fun here. Let's take a look.
COO and founder of Building Construction Group, Scott Harris.
Sorry, it's co-founder.
Oh, fuck me, Natalie. And co-founder of the Building Group, Scott Harris.
Thank you, Building Construction Group.
Oh shit, let's do it again.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
God.
I'll stop.
Why are you making it so complicated? She hasn't gone in and out and in her shirt again.
This is so hard. What else do I need to do?
Andy, can we see the monitor? We don't know. I don't know what my hair looks like. I have to. It's not fair.
The heavyweight, the UFC middleweight. I totally fucked that up. Hang on a second.
I wish my boobs looked like yours. Where are they?
On last week's episode of hashtag Harry and Kelly, we had
Ryan Kendrick. Yeah. I almost called him Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, why are you not taking like outtakes?
Yeah, why aren't we
this is
taking
so
this?
funny.
Thank you all so much for the laughs and being community powered. That was This Week in Focus. recognize her from the Real Housewives of Orange County. Gretchen Christine Rossi is in the house. She's an entrepreneur. She is a beauty fashion mogul. I am so excited that you are here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Such a light.
Thank you.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, I should hang out with you guys more often.
It's been incredible to witness your journey for the past couple years. Obviously, you know, being a part of reality television, we had a peek into your life.
Yes, you did. More than a peek, I think.
But now coming off that, you've got an incredible line, Gretchen Christine, and you're really building an empire for yourself outside of that.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hats off
Thank
to
you. You know, it's interesting. When I first was asked to do Real Housewives, I didn't want to do it. I really didn't. I wasn't interested in the fame or being on TV or anything like that. But then at the time, my partner said, I think this is a great opportunity for you business-wise. And then I took a step back and I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know what, maybe he's right. I've always wanted to be in the fashion and beauty space. And so I took a chance on it, and thankfully the fans and everybody responded so well to me. I was able to develop Gretchen Christine because of that, and it's been a great success. So I feel very, very blessed and grateful for the opportunity.
So for you, because obviously what we see on reality TV is not reality. Like we know it dramatizes, there's a lot of stuff going on. But in your opinion, what have you seen? You know, you've been around so many wealthy people and maybe not wealthy people. What do you think? Do you think that there equates to happiness around being wealthy?
You know what, not at all. And I think Tony Robbins has said it best. He says that wealth and being rich are two very different things. So when you look at your life, you can be wealthy in so many different areas of your life. You can be wealthy because you have a wonderful partner. You could be wealthy because you have a great business, because you have children, because you live in a home. You know, whatever it might be that you have, just look around and realize that there's so many things that really are full of wealth in your own life. Being rich is actually having money in the bank. And at the end of the day, if you view wealth and being rich as two very different things, I think that will help, you know, help you understand the difference between those things and help you realize that being rich isn't ultimately what's going to make you happy. Like you said, I've been around a lot of people in this business and on the show that, you know, were perceived to be very rich, and they were very, very unhappy. So, and I've been there. I've been rich. I've been poor. And honestly, I really think that being poor, you can find much more happiness in that moment. I know that sounds weird, but I truly feel that, because sometimes, and they say, you know, more money, problems. I mean, I've seen this happen so many times. So for me, you know, I work hard because I want to make money and take care of myself and take care of my family. But at the end of the day, I have to have purpose behind what I'm doing. And I think ultimately, if you have a purpose in your life, that's what's going to make you feel wealthy.
Gretchen, what is your purpose?
You know what, I feel like I have a few different purposes, but in general, I feel that my purpose is to hopefully inspire people, women, men alike, and to just let people know that they can do it. I mean, I think that there's a lot of things in life, especially in today's world with social media, that tear you down, that tell you you're not good enough, or you're scrolling through the Instagram feed and you're going, oh my gosh, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this enough. And I think at the end of the day, if you look at someone like me, where I've been knocked down so many times on national television to top it off, with 400 million people watching me, having access to me to tweet and say negative things every second of the day, I think if you just have confidence in who you are and know and trust that the universe is going to have your back, and, you know, do your devotions, have a connection to either God or the universe or whatever it is that your connection is, and just keep moving forward and just keep doing it. Get up every day and work hard and just go after what your dreams are. My other purpose is to hopefully bring people to Christ while I'm here on earth. So I love that I get that opportunity often to meet people and to speak about my testimony, and it's a wonderful gift.
Well, thank you for being so open and sharing your light. You obviously have had a very open book, if you will, about the good, the bad, the happy, the sad.
Yes.
And you know, you've been very open about your IVF journey as well, your journey
Yes.
with fertility. How are you? What's happening with that?
So it's funny because right now I'm in the middle of everything that's going on with IVF. It's a very arduous process, I'm not going to lie. You know, you go through a lot of emotions. Right now I'm 10 pounds overweight, which is fine. I mean, listen, when I have a baby, I'm going to gain that weight and I'm going to be happy about it to put it on. And those are, I consider it war wounds, you know, like for having this baby. But when you haven't had the baby yet, it's a little difficult to be carrying that extra weight, or to be seeing, you know, the cellulite or whatever that's happening in the transition of your body, because you're pumping your body of all these hormones that, you know, it's not used to having. So I'm doing, you know, 4 shots a day, or right now I'm going through the progesterone shots that goes in your bum, and it's painful, and you know, you break out in hives and all the stuff that goes along with that. But at the end of the day, I know what the ultimate goal is, and I stay focused on that. When I'm doing the shots, I'm going, baby, baby, baby.
It's your mantra.
Yes, exactly. But I'm also so fortunate because I have such an amazing, wonderful partner, Slade, that has really been there with me through this whole thing and really helped me through it.
So have you always had faith? Is it something that your family was? Is it in a religion, or was it what came to you?
Yes, I grew up in a very strict Baptist Christian home, and I mean, when I talk strict, I mean really strict. Like I just
fire and brimstone.
Yeah, like really, it was very, very strict. I went to a Christian high school. I went to a Christian college, Baylor University out in Texas. So it was always around me and always in my life. But you know, and I think as an adult, you go through that transition period of figuring out, is this really me? Because your identity was so that of a child because you were constantly surrounded by it. But I definitely went through that stage in my 20s of like, is this me? Is this what I want in my life? And I'm glad I went through that, because now I feel like I'm so much stronger in my faith, and I know what my purpose is here on this earth. And you know, I'm very grateful that I had that growing up, though.
When do you feel most faith-filled, or when do you feel most full of faith? Are there particular moments of your day, certain activities, certain practices?
You know, I would say that probably when things are at its worst. I mean, most people go through that. But I think for me, it's that moment that you learn to just let go and let God, and that's when you really just have to surrender, and you really just have to give it up, and you have to just say, I know you got this, and I know that whatever your plans are for me, I trust that. And you have to say that out loud and affirm that, and that's when, you know, great things will happen. I mean, it's funny, we were just talking, I was just talking with Brandon, and I couldn't find my phone. We couldn't find it, and he's like, just let it go. And I let it go, and then the phone showed up. So it's so true. The same is with your relationship with God. When you just let it go, like for instance, having a baby. I mean, I'm 40 years of age. It's very scary to think about, you know, the fact that I might not be able to physiologically have a child, you know, so because of my age. And so you just have to learn to let go and let God.
I just love that, and it's something I think we, at least I have too often overlooked, the power of surrender, the power of letting go. Yes. And sometimes remind myself, like, you know, we're all sitting on this earth that's just hanging in mid-air.
Yes.
All day, every day, forever. And I can't.
That's such a good point.
Yes, and it's exactly. And it's exactly. And it's, you know, speeding through space.
You're right.
And why do I struggle so much to trust this thing that can hold the earth in midair, but I can't trust it to like work out a little finance issue or a little relationship? It's just mind blowing, right?
That is such a great point. I'm going to use that now. I mean, it's such a good point. You don't think about that. You don't think about the fact that we're just dangling in the air, you know? So like, we trust that. We just allow that to go. So we allow everything else that, you know, we're struggling with to just let go. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the best piece of advice I could give somebody. When I look back on the 40 years of my life thus far, I've realized that every time I've been stressed or worried or anxious or upset about something, it's always worked out. It's always been okay. It's the worst fear that you've had in your life is really not as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Well, in fact, if we have fear, then we're resisting something, and it's even persisting even more. So surrender or in meditation or prayer, getting that space is so important, so that we even allow the universe to show for us.
I love what Byron Katie says about it. She says there are just 3 kinds of business in the world: God's business, your business, or everybody else's business, in my business. And when I'm stressed, I'm either in God's business or somebody else's business.
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
Speaking of business, Christine is all Christine is all business with these gorgeous handbags.
Thank you.
I know that your partner Slade has contributed a lot too in the design,
that's
right?
so cute. I love it. You know what? What's funny is I love Slade. He's such a great person to bounce things off of, and he always is involved in everything that I'm doing. But most of these designs I will take credit for. They are mine, but Slade definitely gets to have a say now and again. But
they're
absolutely
what's
so
gorgeous.
great about some of these bags, like for instance with this one actually converts. So this is a tote like this.
Yes.
And then as you saw, it changes the shape. So a lot of my bags have function to them. That's the point behind our company, is to really have good function in everything that we create.
And
we want
luxury.
a solution and luxury. And do you feel the inside of that?
Yes, I love a good lining.
Right? Isn't that beautiful? That's my personal bag, so there might be some like stuff in
No, let's just say it is absolutely spotless,
Oh,
Gretchen.
that's
It's
sweet.
spotless.
So where can people find the bags? Where can they find you?
So they can find the bags at GretchenChristine.com, and then they can find me. All my social media handles are at Gretchen Rossi on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
I love it. Like go to the baggage, pick up a bag.
I know.
Yes.
So I'm going to use that. You
I've got a couple for now, man.
I love it.
Right?
You're good for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much. Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land.
You got this, girl. Here we go.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me laugh.
That was a good practice run, though. It was a practice run, a little slow on the uptake. Let's. Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets. Hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over?
I'm Wendy Brokaw. I'm Paula Marshall. By the way, this is politics, okay? This is not ticks. I hated it. Let's do it one more time.
Well, that's why I created Just a Thought meditation recordings, so that you can meditate in your sleep. Pause it there. Can you edit it in?
Being new in town, it gives me a perspective on, oh shit, no, that was wrong.
No, can we start all over? That's too much talking.
No, I'm an actress. I mean, you've seen me. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's like so hard. It's so hard. That was so hard.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it. I'll stop.
Let's do it one more time.
Bitching,
Didn't work.
complaining.
Let me do it one more time.
We're gonna
Didn't
do
work.
it one more time.
Ready? And action.
Do I just talk again? If you are vegan, you get a vegan broth. Jesus, guys. Fuck. I'm blah, blah.
I wish my boobs looked like yours. Where are they?
It's single issue.
Single issue!
Single issue.
Andy, did I make it fun yet?
Thank you.
It's no longer a golden secret.
We're done!
Hi from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome recording artist M. Huggett to the show. How are you, gorgeous?
I'm great. Thank you.
I've been following your black and white journey on Instagram for a moment now, and I love that you just came to represent. What does your pin say?
It says clothing optional, consent required. And it's from a charity Only with Consent, which is one of the charities I'm donating the proceeds of my EP to.
And what is your new EP?
My new EP is What I Want to Say to You. And it's the whole EP is about my experience with sexual assault, well, rape specifically. So it's a very heavy topic, but I think seriously important. I think it's something that hasn't been done, at least in wide-scale media before. I've never seen an album out there about a topic like this. And I think people need to hear it. I think it's really important.
So what do you want to say?
I want to say a lot of things, lots of things. Every song, it's a 4-track EP, and every song is about a different emotion that I experienced in my journey from when I wrote the first song until now, basically. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot I want to say, but I would say listen to the EP to hear all the
Well, even just looking at the title of the tracks, you know, one of them was Anger.
Right.
What are the other titles?
Yeah, so Anger, the story of the EP kind of came about. So I was raped when I was 16 in London, which is where I'm from. And I didn't tell anyone about it for a really long time. It was all, you know, buried, and that's how it was. And then I moved to New York when I was 18 to go to drama school, because I'm also an actress. And when I got there, I had the most amazing time, and everything was like, I just kind of, it left me for a bit, you know? And then I went home that Christmas, and everything was just like, and so I expected it to go away when I got back to New York, and it didn't. I got back there, and it was just taking over my life. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't work, I literally couldn't do anything. It was just all I could think about all the time. So I called my mum, and I was like, what do I do, what do I do? And she said, well, you should try writing a letter to your attacker. She said that helps a lot of people. She says you don't have to send it, but just to get all those feelings out. So naturally for me, that came in writing a song. So that's what I did. So literally in about 10 minutes, I wrote the opening track, which is called What I Want to Say to You. And it still didn't really feel like enough. So then a couple of weeks later, I released it, had an amazing response, and that was huge for me, because that was me basically telling all my friends and family, hi, this is what's happened to me, which was really essential for me, because I think what a lot of people struggle with, what I really suffered with, was denial. And just, it was so easy for me to just say to myself, this hasn't happened to me, because nobody knew it had happened to me. So that I did, and I'm so happy I did it. And that's one of the main things I want to say it's one of the biggest reasons for the EP, is I'm trying to inspire other survivors to speak out, because it literally changed my life.
It's so interesting. I was actually working someplace yesterday, and living with me, and he said, what do you think about, you know, these women that come out 15 years later and talk about stuff? Don't you think it's a little inappropriate? They should have said it right away. And I'm like thinking, wow, no comment.
Yeah.
Just no comment.
It's actually amazing how our society finds a way to always turn it around on the woman, or the, obviously men are victims to this as well. But it's amazing how they always find a way. Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah, and to answer your earlier question, so Anger was the second song I wrote, and that was kind of after and that song is a very, it's quite a violent song, and something I normally wouldn't want to be. This is totally normal to feel. Don't feel ashamed of this, you're not alone in this, and don't try and hide this, because if you're just bottling all that anger inside you, it's gonna be pressed for the rest of my life. And then social media was mad at that time. And that's when I wrote the fourth and final song, Get Out, which is about trying to get the fact that that person, that experience, literally feels like they live inside your body always, and really just trying to get that out. So that's, yeah.
How did you get that out? How did you cut that cord?
Well, I don't think, I wouldn't say I've cut it, yeah. It's definitely frayed. But I think for me, really the songs and releasing this, I think expression is so important, and that's why it's another huge thing I'm trying to do with this EP, is just really try and get people to do that. They don't have to share it, but just to get, even just me writing that first song, getting it out on a page is so helpful.
So a lot of times in trauma work, things like that, we you know, forgiveness is so important. That doesn't mean we don't hold people accountable, that doesn't mean whatever, but forgiving, because whatever happened in the past, we're still replaying that, and we're bringing the harm essentially back to ourselves just through energizing those mental pictures of what happened during that time. How are you finding, for beyond your music, beyond whatever, is there anything you've done, any modalities, any things that you recommend for people?
Yeah, it's really interesting that you say that, because I definitely agree. I think that however we allow anyone else to make us feel is just giving them our power, because we really have all the power of how we feel and what we do. And so just in terms of my personal well-being, I mean, yeah, really like meditation, journaling, positive affirmations, all the stuff everyone was saying about this morning, you know, really, and to basically just turn everything inwards, to think that I need to love myself, really. And that if I focus on if every time I think of him or I think of that, if I just think, why am I feeling like this? Because of you. I should be feeling great because of me, you know? So then it's just about finding the good things in my life and trying to focus on the positives. And I think forgiveness in a situation like rape is extremely difficult. it's something, yeah, I'm not sure where I'm at with that yet.
But I think there's something to be said about forgiving yourself for the way you feel, forgiving yourself for the anger, for the shame, and in creating that almost of an acceptance, rather, and the ability then to let go.
Definitely, I think acceptance is key, and I think forgiving yourself, because I think a lot of people with traumatic situations end up doing things they might not necessarily want to do, or blah, 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 and I think forgiving yourself for maybe hurting yourself, harming yourself through any means, whatever that might be, but I think we all can get self-destructive, and exactly as you said, forgiving yourself for that behavior and then turning it around to love, I think is really important.
Love that. In addition to your mom, who sounds incredibly insightful, have there been any teachers or authors or mentors that have sort of helped you process and move through this experience?
Definitely. I have a life coach here in LA. She's incredible, and it's quite spiritually based, but it's all the work of kind of Eckhart Tolle and as we were just talking about, Byron Katie. So all of that kind of work and just the power of the mind, really, and recognizing that we have control of our thoughts, and that when a thought comes into my head, that doesn't mean that it's true. And for me to say, say if I thought right now, oh, I feel really sad, well, that's a bit different. But if I said, oh, I look really fat right now, say that's my thought, and for me to not say, oh, I do look really fat, but to say, no, I'm noticing the thought that I feel really fat. Is that true? And then to go through Byron Katie's work that we were just discussing, fantastic author, and figuring out, are these thoughts actually true? And most of the time they're not. They're just limiting beliefs that have been fed to us since a very young age.
I just love that, and I couldn't agree more. I feel strongly that every stressful thought is a lie.
Yeah.
And then there's a level beyond that, which is that every single thought is a lie, because it's simply a small representation of what actually happened. No single thought can capture the entire truth experience or the entire truth of who you are. Right. So I just love, and I love that you're sort of working with this coach and that you're sort of working through it. So inspired by you and your strength and your resilience.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all your work. Can't wait to hear all of it. Excited for the journey for all of us.
Tell people where they can listen to your new EP.
Everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, and everything. All the net proceeds of this EP, 100% are being donated to sexual assault charities. Wow. So I'm not making any money, producers making, it's all for charity, trying to help other survivors, and yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Stay tuned, we'll be back with more Good Morning LaLaLand. We are so excited you're bringing back the heat. Season 4, Hit the Floor, coming out next week, July 10th.
Yes.
Wow.
10 o'clock, y'all, BET.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
That'll be real.
Hey, I mean, we filmed the show. I saw the premiere last night. We saw the first episode, so it's real.
Wow.
It's happening.
The LA Devil Girls are back.
Yeah, they're back. They're back in full force. Yeah. I don't know how I'm still dancing this hard. And Tiana Taylor is joining our cast. You know,
but it's kind of showcasing the culture of it, right?
For
money,
sure. The sex, the fame, the scandal, and the jaw-dropping dances, because there's amazing dance in every single episode. Michael Rooney is a choreographer, and he kills it every time. I mean, he's trying to kill me.
Day on the 4th of July. Also want to celebrate Ms. Leanne Tessa. She's an incredible talent. She's part of the Club Mickey Mouse. We got to celebrate with her at the recent release of her hit single, Runnin'. Rob and I were on the red carpet in the most recent issue of Focus magazine. Take a little peek right here. And she sang the national anthem at Dodgers Stadium.
She killed it.
Right? Killed it.
She sure
Let's
did.
take a look.
O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So awesome.
Nailed it.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. We are here with Brandon Hawk. He is a transformational expert and executive coach. Sounds like you guys have something in common.
We do,
around here.
same cloth,
And look at this guy,
coming on.
his style.
I'm so,
Likewise, my friend.
Thank you.
I'm incredibly inspired by your story. You know, from Wimbledon, the School of Transformation, the Youth Center in LA. Take us back to your 9-year-old self.
Oh, my 9-year-old.
Yeah. Was this the game
you're going deep
I'm
right
going
now.
deep. Take me there.
Well, 9-year-old Brandon was a prodigy athlete and had a dad that was a sports fanatic, and he really pushed me to play tennis. And man, I played and played and played and played, and at the age of 15 I was on the US national team, and by the time I was 17 I had won a round in the main draw of the US Open.
Incredible.
And so yeah, my dream since I was a little boy was to play in Wimbledon, and Wimbledon was like this great thing for me because it was something that I put my whole life into, and you know, you think that it would complete you.
Yeah.
But I got to experience at a very early age that the external does not fix the internal. And the thing that I thought was going to fulfill me did not. It actually was a moment where all of my pain emerged. I was in this flat in London and in the Wimbledon Village, and it was like I had this very traumatic, all my pain, bypassing my heart as a little boy to produce a result, you know, perform so that people would approve of me and love me. You know, that was a lot of my existence, and it caught up with me at that moment. So Wimbledon was a huge blessing for me because it brought out the pain, right? And from that place, at the age of 20, I was able to just give my life to something bigger. And knowing, you know, having that perspective that the outside doesn't fix the inside was very big for me.
Right. You were actually a senior pastor?
I was a senior pastor.
Wow,
yeah, I wasn't a great pastor. I wasn't a great pastor. I had a school of transformation that I loved, and it was very successful, and a lot of leaders started to come to that school of transformation, and I turned my school of transformation into a for-profit coaching company.
Nice.
And I made that transition from senior pastor to executive coach.
And what have you learned about yourself in creating the School of Transformation?
Wow, it's really my own journey. Yeah. You know, it's my own guidebook to healing. Even the clients that I coach, they're just an amazing mirror of myself. And I get to see myself in them. And so my transformation process, the you journey, is really my own journey from the head or from performance to the heart.
I just love that. Two things about that I absolutely love. First is the piece about it always be listening to me.
Right.
That's the first rule.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like the gift, right? Absolutely. That I get paid well to heal.
And now you're bringing that gift to Los Angeles.
I am.
Tell us about the U Center.
Well, I have a youth summit coming up at Wanderlust, and we have a kickoff celebration of the Hawk. Yeah.
So we're all about the names and your calling. And
heart wisdom that's beyond my years, and if I could inspire the people that are listening, whoever, that really the power of the heart, right? The power of the heart, that it is quantum, it's exponential. Right. I get to work with very successful individuals, Fortune 500 CEOs, athletes, entertainers, and to think that, you know, connected success is in the heart. And not bypassing our heart to produce a result.
Minister, Dr. Divinity, I pray, I meditate, whatever, and I can't help sometimes I'm like getting caught up in the whole thing, and I'm like, wow, I'm doing it. I can't believe I'm doing it again. How do you stay in source all the time?
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't all the time. But acceptance, you know, learning, help individuals that have been very externally driven, right? Very externally oriented, come back to that place of acceptance within themselves. And oftentimes accepting ourselves, to open ourselves up, we have to open ourselves up to all of it, right? So if you're gonna open yourself up to the joy, to the abundance, to the bliss, there's that fear, there's that
be able to stay there, because as Erin says, in our human form, release that expectation of that you will be perfect in maintaining that. We're still human. We're still in Los Angeles.
That's right.
There are so many external factors and circumstances that are going to pull at our souls, and it's just part of ourself in that.
Yeah.
And just allow yourself to come back.
I'm not Eckhart Tolle, you know. I mean, I feel like
power of now.
Power of now. I mean, he's probably in there all the time, right? But for me, it is a daily work. So, how many of us spend the morning just doing a little audit of our internal reality, right? Going in, starting the morning, okay, how am I feeling? Where's the energy? really doing an internal audit of how, what's going on inside of us.
I don't even think that straight in the morning to think, oh, I should do an audit. I think, oh my God, where are my glasses and my coffee?
Well,
So true.
you'll get there.
I'm working on that.
So when people work with you, we don't have a lot of time, but what, they come to you, they work with you like a few sessions, they work with you for a year. What does that look like when people come work with you?
We do longer packages. I mean, we go deep. We go into the training from the inside out rather than the outside in. There is this place of launching. That's a real launching into what seasons to our work. And so we go through the seasons with them, and it's a beat that I'm willing to go inside, and I'm
very honored and blessed to be a part of this journey and to have a platform for you to share yours.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for doing what y'all do, like stepping out and this positivity and creating a new platform. Like it's amazing. Way to go, guys.
So where can people find you?
And what's your Instagram handle?
Official Brandon Hawk.
There it is.
Oh, see you too.
But I'm making a commitment from you guys and you guys. We're going to double to 3,000. All right? Can we do that? We can do that. All right.
Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land.
Welcome back on this Wealth Wednesday. We are definitely wealthy with all these extraordinary human beings right here. So I just have one last question for you guys. We've talked a lot about intention, and so I'm wondering if there is a certain one word of the day for your intention for today. Start here, go around.
Truth.
Ooh,
good one.
Hello.
I was going to say authenticity, so you kind of said the same thing as mine, but positivity and authenticity.
Light.
I think enthusiastic. Okay. I'm gonna go with connect.
I'm gonna go with commitment.
Wow. I'm gonna go with fun. I want
Yeah.
more fun in my life.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with La La Land.
Yeah.
Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. You can follow us at Good Morning La La Land and listen to your favorite interviews as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. You guys, please like and share, comment, all the above.